morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is your friend Jason Gulick here, live in Phoenix, Arizona, 5:32 a.m. To my
Good morning.
right, I don't know where he's at on your screen, is Mark Deeds Klodzinski. And then to my right, two doors down, is our friend out of Salt Lake City, Jake Jake VanOrden,
Morning,
what's shaking,
guys.
brother?
Oh, just another day. Fighting
Just another
off a little bit
day.
of a cold, so my voice is a little messed up, but yeah, living the
Well, you
life.
you look good, dude.
Oh, thank you. Sames.
You got it. Thanks, man. Just getting our morning started. Deez has got everything going for us. He's producing the show, making sure that everything's getting off on the right foot.
On
We're
time-ish
pretty
today.
much on time today. Thank you, Deej. You are always awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jason.
What's in store for everybody today?
What's on Jake's plate?
Um, this is going to be our last day up at Alta Ski Resort. Doing a big custom home up there. That sits on kind of a cliff face, kind of a cool house,
Nice.
but it's kind of technical how you have to do things because you can't water fed from one side because it literally falls off a cliff. So you got to open up windows, stand on the ledge, kind of hang out the window to, yeah, do the
Fun.
do the job.
A
One of those
Tom
homes.
Cruise special.
Yes, yes. Always exciting, but really cool house. Um, and yeah, just blessed to have all that work up in Alta through October. So it's a good little gig up there.
That
Awesome.
is a sweet gig. I know when I left the last time, so I was in Utah twice in September. I had the good fortune of spending a little bit of time with you 2 days, which was great. Got an opportunity to sit with you, kind of visit, pick your brain, find out what makes Jake tick. Also, just getting a chance to visit with other cleaners outside of a conventions idea, outside of like an actual physical work setting. You and I got an opportunity to watch a little football, had a bevy or two, had some dinner, found out we're pretty similar in age. We both have a lot of the same interests in sports and stuff like that. So it was a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good time to get to know you, man. And I really appreciated you taking the time to come out and say what up, dude. It meant a lot to me.
No, always good to see you. We met a couple of years ago at the huge convention, but
Yeah.
didn't talk too much there. I mean, tried to get you to come out with us one night, but you didn't really want to sit bitch between Frank Rave and the doc. So
Yeah.
in that little teeny Jeep. But yeah, I mean,
Beep,
good
beep.
times, coming here in Salt Lake and really getting to know you. So
Yeah, it was a blast. And it was really cool too. You have you're also a moderator of another forum too, Window Cleaning Nation. You're about 15,000 members over there.
Awesome.
And that's a really, dude, that's big time. How long has that forum been going?
um I'd say a little over a decade is when I started Window Cleaning Nation. And when I started it out, it wasn't something that, because I didn't know other window cleaning groups existed. And at
Yeah.
that time, I guess pro window cleaning existed and professional window cleaning that's done by Jay Racenstein existed. But I didn't know that. I just started a group and I added local guys that I knew here in Salt Lake. And it was more just to show some cool pictures, show some badass jobs that you're working on. But I never thought it would be like a forum where people would come in like questions and answers and help other people, in their businesses and recommend products and stuff like that. That's never where I thought it would go. But in the last 3 to 4 years, it's really taken off, really blown up. And there's a lot of good people in that group as well. A lot of the same people that are in the pro group are also in that group, just a little bit different of a feel than the pro group, but very similar, very similar. So
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned about the differences between the groups. Like I remember somebody told me this guy I hired, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, told me about Pro Window Cleaning, the group, and I think I jumped on, and I think that I immediately went to Pro. I think I added like 3 or 4 all at the same time, but I didn't really read the titles, so I'd be like posting and reading and checking the different groups, and then being
Right.
like, why are these so different? And they're like kind of like what you said, they're very similar, but just a hair different. And having different groups of people and getting information out there is something that I think that has really, really, really benefited our business in some aspects. In some
Right.
aspects. And now these forums also give us the opportunity to mingle and chat with other people and visit and give others information. But I feel like, let me ask you, this is kind of it's taking me a long way to get to this question, but do you think sometimes it also, us being so open and giving so much information, do you think it harms our industry at all?
Um, definitely. Yeah. I mean, in my area, I mean, we've looked into this a little bit, not like taken like a deep, deep, deep dive, but the Salt Lake Valley has more window cleaners per capita than basically anywhere else. We've got a lot of young kids here because Mormons like to have five,
Lots of
six,
children?
7, 8
Hmm.
kids. Yeah, tons of kids.
Keep them coming.
So,
Okay, Jebediah. Or okay,
so
Father.
so there's just so many young kids, and a lot of them, go on LDS missions, and they get back from their missions and they haven't gone to college because they've done 2 years of an
Door
LDS
knocking?
mission, but they've been knocking on doors,
Yeah.
selling Jesus, which is a lot harder than selling
Wow.
window cleaning. You know,
Praise the Lord.
if you can get
Brother
somebody
loves
to
traveling
if
salvation
you can
show.
talk if you can talk somebody into joining a church and getting baptized, you can talk somebody into having their windows cleaned.
Heck yeah.
So they come back from their missions, and there's just door knocking like crazy. And you have a lot of these kids that their parents will, go on and buy them, $5,000-10,000 worth of equipment, water
Yeah.
fed stuff, get them started, get them going. And some of them make it through. Some of them, make that 5-year point, but most of them are gone within a couple of years. But what people don't understand is, yes, you're going to get your customer back after this, teenage kid comes and does
Yeah.
their windows one time. But that's one time that you're losing out on a job that this other kid that knocked the door is getting.
Yeah.
So if they're a regular spring and fall customer for you, and a kid goes and knocks the door in the spring and you lose that spring customer, you're losing half the revenue from that customer for the year.
Yeah.
So I think it does hurt a little bit where all these kids can just jump on and see, hey, and some of the, just the bullshit where guys lie about what they're making, like,
Yeah.
oh, I go out solo and I make $2,000 a day every single day. And it's like, really? You make 40 grand a month by
Before
yourself,
9 a.m.
and you do all this, and um but you're still driving a 1995
Ford
Dodge
Ranger.
Caravan around. Yeah, it's it's the sensationalized part of it where people are just making up numbers and throwing it out there that um, gets people thinking. And yes, there can be really good money in window cleaning, and you can do it as a solo guy.
Yeah.
But I think I think the biggest problem with the industry right now is you have 100 different coaches out there that all are preaching the same shit. They're like, hey, if you come on with me and spend this money, I
Yeah.
guarantee you by year 2 that you're going to have 500K in revenue by year 2. And so there's so many people out there that are jumping on these coaching programs, running the exact same ads with the exact same message. I mean, nothing changes. Like I see at least 5 to 10 a day on my Facebook feed in my local area of
Yeah.
just
Same
exact
here.
same message, exact same presentation. Videos are done exactly the same. It's just like so goddamn generic that it, and I mean, to us on our end, we're looking at it like, dude, this sounds stupid as hell, but obviously it's working for the consumer. The consumer is eating this shit up. Even though us as window cleaners, we look at it and we're like, dude, these guys look like dipshits. But apparently it works,
Yeah.
or people wouldn't be doing it. So
So what kicks me too is I see, and I don't want to be like an ageist or anything like that. And you know, you mentioned the young cats. There's some really great guys out there that are youngsters that are busting ass and kicking ass and taking names. But some of the coaches, like you're mentioning, it cracks me up, dude. Like 25 years old, 30 years old, um, telling me this is how you do it, and it makes me laugh. But to each their own. We're all trying to, get there, get somewhere, right? There's a cat in Arizona. Um, he pumps it hard, and he's pitching a sales. Yeah, he punches it real hard. Buy my system, buy my system. Get this. It cracks me up. Also, the same guy talks about wanting to lose weight and get in shape, and my response to that is go clean some fucking windows.
Wipe it down.
So yeah, it cracks me up.
and I agree with that. And I'm sure we're talking about Ryan here. And Ryan's not a bad guy. I've had several conversations with Ryan. Good
I don't.
dude.
I'm not naming names or anything like that. It cracks me up. Yeah, that he's one of them. But there's
Yeah.
quite a few guys out there very similar.
Yeah. And I mean, I got no problem with them doing what they do. And the reason they're doing what they're doing and doing the coaching programs is because they make a shit ton more money than they do cleaning windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The coaching programs, they make so much money that,
And it's monthly residuals too.
right. You sign on new guys, you sign them up for, a year contract with you. They're paying you X amount per month. I mean, if you got 100 guys paying you X amount a month, and
Yeah.
it's every month, and you're building new clientele every month doing it, you're crushing it. And that's why they do it, because there's way more money in that than scaling a window cleaning company, even though most of these guys that do coach have scaled window cleaning companies, so they do have something to say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We're not every coach sucks. Just some of them.
Yeah, and I'm not bagging on Ryan either. I've watched his company grow from afar, and I've spoken with him as well. But I don't know him to speak of him personally. You know what I mean?
right.
I can't do that. That's not my style. And I understand he's a pretty good guy as well. Matter of fact, I've even reached out to him too to see if he wanted to give me some advice on some stuff. But I can't just, I'm not in any position to hire a coach to tell me what to do when it comes to that kind of thing. I find that trial and error works best for me. I can't lose. I'm not the type of guy who's ready to just dole out money in hopes of getting it back when I can just go work harder. At least that's for me.
And I agree with that. So with me and these coaches and scaling and all of that, they teach you how to scale, but they don't teach you how to clean a goddamn window,
Yeah.
how to, do those types of things. And most of these companies that blow up fast
Yeah.
and are in these coaching groups, go read their reviews. I mean, most of them have 100+ reviews that are 2 stars or lower. And it's because they're not training their guys. They're not putting the best out there. They're just putting anybody that they can out there because they're overselling. And there's a company here in Salt Lake, and I won't name the name of the company, but they've got 15, 20 guys out there door knocking every single day.
Yeah.
And so they're swamped with work, but they'll train a guy for 2 days and then put him out there by themselves as a subcontractor to go and do windows on residential. And
Yeah,
you go,
you and I talked about that company actually because they approached me and asked me like the funny thing is on this one too. Um, so a guy like you, a guy like me who's been doing something for 20 years and someone approaches you and they're like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this?" They may not have even done their research on who they're talking to, you know what I mean? And then they're
right,
trying to get you to do something for 30 to 40% of whatever it is that they're charging. And it's like, no, 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 no. That's not how this works, bud.
right.
So it's funny, like, yeah, they sent that. I think that that company they let me know, oh, we're sending 30, 40 guys out into Phoenix and this and that. And I'm like, so you're sending 34 guys out to do the work, but you don't have any employees here? Like you have door knockers, not window washers. What are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
Sub
so
it.
how about you train the salesman to also be a window washer? That would be a good idea, right?
Well, they don't want to do that because they're sales guys. They want them out there, 8 to 10 hours a day pounding the pavement. They don't want them to actually clean windows. And the guys that are sales guys, they don't want to clean windows because so this particular company pays their sales guys 30 to 40% of what the job is. But
Yeah,
then their employees that are actually going out and doing the work, if you're an employee of the company, you're only getting 20%. If you're a sub of the company, you're getting 40%. But I mean, subbing for 40% is just absolutely asinine when you're the one with all the liability. You're
Yep.
covering the insurance, you're
Labor.
doing everything, and you're only getting paid 40%. So if they're bidding stuff out at $100 an hour and you're ending up getting 40, it's like $40 an hour to a young kid sounds pretty good, but none of them understand the implications, the tax side of it. And I mean, I don't know. Most people out there probably don't know that I've run a tax office for 13 years.
yeah,
So I know the tax side and the number side of things, as well as the window cleaning side of things. And I tell these kids all the time, I'm like, look, you've got to put away 30% of what you're making. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're putting 30% away, you're going from that $40 an hour
to
down
28.
down to 28. And then
Woof.
you got to look at your expenses and everything else that comes with it. And
Rubbers.
all said and done, you might be making $21, $22 an hour, all said and done, is
Yeah,
what your take home pay is going to be. And so at that point in time, why aren't you working for a company that is paying you 25 an hour and you are getting a truck and you're getting all the equipment and you're, you know, possibly getting, some vacation or something else in it. But most of these companies that do this, they want subs because they don't want any liability. They
yeah,
don't want to cover any of that shit. They don't
Mhm.
want to pay half of their Social Security and Medicare. They don't want to pay big bucks for the liability insurance and the workman's comp. They want to bypass all of that and run off purely off of subs, which, in my opinion, is a horrible way to run a business.
Yep.
So
yeah, absolutely. You have a few guys that work for you. Are they subs or are they full-time employees?
yes.
Which one are they subs or are they full-time?
No, I have full-time employees. So I usually have 2 to 3 full-time employees is usually what I carry on. And then I have when we do monster jobs, I have a
Friends you can count on?
handful of guys that I've known for
Monster jobs.
decades, that come on and help with monster projects. Like we do we do all the window cleaning at the 3 biggest casinos in Wendover, Nevada. So
Awesome.
when we go out and do that job, I mean, me and my 2 employees is not enough to, conquer that job
Yeah.
in a timely manner. We could conquer it, but not in a timely manner. And, they want it done timely. I don't want to pay to have a lift out there for longer than we need it. And so I bring guys on that I've known forever, that I know do awesome work, that
Yeah.
I've worked with at other companies in the past, or they might have been an employee of mine in the past, and then they decided that they wanted to start their own gig. And I've got no issues with that. I mean, if you want to work for me for a few years, learn the business, get really good at what you're doing, and then you want to go start your own, I'll throw you a bone. I'll help you get started.
Yeah.
As long as you're not,
A jerk off.
you know, kicking me in the balls and taking work from us,
Yeah.
because we
Handing out
don't.
their card to your customer while they're there.
Exactly. So I don't put up with that. And I had an employee at one point in time that did that. And the crazy thing is we were like really, really good friends. And I'd known the dude since he was 5 years old.
Oh, fuck.
And when he quit working for me, he, obviously has the list of customers that I've sent him and the
Yeah.
daily routes and that. He starts reaching out to all the customers and being like, hey, I'm doing this on my own. I'm doing that. And so that's a real ball buster, especially from somebody that you thought was like a good
friend,
longtime friend that just,
yeah,
goes and castrates you like that. It's just crazy. So, but it happens. I mean,
yeah, it's tough when you get kicked in the junk like that, or when you've really invested your time, your energy, your faith into someone.
right.
As I've been doing this longer and longer and longer, and I've helped multiple people get on their feet and get moving and given them the tools to succeed, right? And oftentimes too, like I provide, just like you, I'm sure, I provide tools, right? I give them, the actual squeegees, mops, stuff like that, because I want people to have the right gear. And I want them to be productive and get things done right. And it's like, look, I've invested in this person and all they're doing is taking. It's like, it should be a give and take, right? And when you feel like someone's just taking from you, then it's time to cut that relationship off. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So what is, how long do jobs like that Wendover Hotel? Is that like a week, 2 weeks?
So we go out there for 2 weeks, and it's about an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive out there for us. So we go out on a Sunday night. We go and get equipment on the roof of the biggest casino. They don't have proper tie-offs there, so we bring 3 roof roller systems out there when we do the job, to be able to do the rope work out there, because they don't have proper anchor systems on the building to do it. So we get out there on a Sunday night. We get all the equipment up on the roof for the big building, and we have 3 guys that'll be doing rope work on the biggest building. And then we also start on that biggest building with the lift work as well. And that's an 85-foot boom on that job. So we go out there the first week. Then we come home Friday after work, and then go back out Sunday night again and
start it all over again.
Sunday morning again. And usually we can finish the job by the Thursday of the next week, and be back coming home that Thursday night. And they provide rooms for us, so we get to stay at the casino while we're out there. And we all get our own rooms too, so you're not bunking up with anybody else. Everybody gets their own private room.
Do they comp you a meal?
Huh?
Did they comp you a meal at all, like the buffet?
I wish they would. But no, they don't comp anything like that. But when you do check into the hotel, they do give you, everybody that checks in, even contractors, you get, like 2 free drinks, like a teeny bit of free play, that kind of thing.
Cool.
But yeah, no, no comp mills or anything like that. But the cool thing now is every one of those rooms has refrigerators in it. They're small, but I
Yeah.
mean, you bring in, you know, what you want to, um, what you want to eat for breakfast, and then you bring in, like stuff to make your lunch and whatnot, so you have that with you. And then
Cool.
dinner we just eat at the casinos, but you make sure you have your food and stuff all ready to go. So we go grocery shopping before we go out, and have everything that
Nice.
we need. And so then you're not out there just spending money on meals every day. Because I mean, if
It
you're
could
out
be
there,
expensive.
yeah, spending 15-20 bucks a meal, you're spending 45 to 60 bucks a day on food, then doesn't make much sense. So
I was just gonna get into that. Yeah, it sounds like a really fun time, Jake. But if you have some maybe some issues with gambling, or like you really like to play, you could actually end up losing more money than you make that week. So that could be a dangerous thing for some people, huh?
and I think that's what they want you
Hope.
to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's this fat contract out here in Wendover. Give us some of it back. We want
Come
some
play
of that money.
blackjack.
Yep, some of that money coming back to us. But yeah, I mean, everyone that goes out there with us is pretty conservative with their
Yeah.
money. There's nobody that's going out that's just
Smart.
like, I'm staying up till 2 a.m. on the tables.
Just plugging away, grinding.
Yeah, that we don't do any of that. We might take a couple $100 out with us, and if
Yeah.
you lose that couple $100, you're done. And I mean, I tell people all the time, like when I'm going out there, and I'm not going out there to clean windows, if I'm just going out to hang out with some friends and we're just going out, they have a concert hall out there, so sometimes we'll go out and see a concert there or something. And if I'm going out there, I take the money that I'm okay with losing, and I leave my debit card at home.
There you
Yep.
go.
Yeah, I
No
don't,
plastic.
I don't want that temptation of going to the ATM when I'm pissed off that I lost a few $100. I don't want that happening. So I just leave the debit card at home. No chance of taking
No
out money
chance of
that I
soaking in
don't
the
want to
ATM
lose.
machine.
Exactly.
Soaking in the ATM.
Yep. The machine that always pays, the ATM.
That's right.
Deez,
Guaranteed.
I should have followed Jake's advice when you and I were in Vegas, huh?
No, you should follow my advice. Use smaller bills. Use a 10 or a 20 in that machine. Don't flop the 100 in there.
Yeah, no,
I
Way to
told
go.
I
no
told
dropping
Deez
C notes.
I
Yeah.
let Deeds know my play when I was trying to get there, and I was like, "Look, I'm gonna drop like $100 this day, I drop $100 this day, drop $100 this day." And we went a day before everybody got there, and I think I was probably already down like 300 on the first night. It was
Yeah.
bullshit.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Hey, you know what we haven't done yet? I haven't given a shout out to anybody. We've got Adam Hogan in the building, Chuck D, Squeegee Tom, our friend Craig Hensel, Corey Klimas, Tyler Smith, Frank,
Nathan,
yeah,
Jessica,
Frank Rave
Damien,
is in the building.
Mike Nichols.
Well, yep,
Good
Cody
morning,
Smith,
everybody.
Zane and
All the
Mike are
regulars,
both
man. All
here.
the regulars.
Yeah, man. So
Thank you for
speaking of
showing up.
regulars, dude, I wanted to say thank you, Jake. You've been popping in usually once, twice a week, saying what's up.
Thank you.
All you guys that are continuously showing up and showing out and contributing to the show, it really makes us feel like we're doing something that's important or at least worth our time. And that's really what keeps us going and wanting to say good morning every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I want to say thank you, Jake, for doing that. And thank you for being,
Yeah.
replying so quick and jumping on and saying, "Hey, yeah, man, I'm willing to do this." It meant a lot to me. So thank you.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Another thing to thank you, you introduced me and got me connected with James Riley. We had a lunch while we were out there too. One of the fun things about that trip was I got a chance to bring my kid with me out, and you and James and we had some lunch, and we actually kind of did a deep dive on more like not window cleaning. I mean, we
Yeah,
had
personal fit.
Yeah, we had a very long conversation about all sorts of stuff. You know, we talked about stress, we talked about work, we talked about life, we talked about addiction, we talked about mental health illness. I mean, this shit was like, and it wasn't
It
just
was
a
deep.
quick lunch. You know what I mean? We had our lunch, then we went out, did a little thrift shopping. And then when we got done, the conversation got even deeper. And I think being able to have a conversation on that level with three grown ass men who have all been through some serious shit in one form or another and that continue to go through stuff. You know, you're a single dad, you're raising your daughter. Like, I have my family and all, but my son has seen me fight some serious addiction stuff, you know, seen me sleeping outside, you know, and just weird shit, right? But to be
Right.
able to
Yeah.
converse and have these conversations with good people, you and James and myself, and like being able to relay that information in front of a young man and know that it's okay to have these conversations with other people, it really meant a lot to me. And that's another thing that I wanted to say thank you for. Like, you know, I can text you and tell you thank you, and I can send in a, you know, instant message, and, you know, and I can give you a hug when we leave. But that conversation is going to resonate with me for a very long time. It meant a lot. It really did. And like I said, it wasn't just some like little, it was deep, and it did mean a lot. And I know James, I want to one of these days get his ass in here, but I know he's not as early as a morning person as you and I. Uh, but he was interesting, dude. And I think he's a really cool cat, and I appreciate him as well. So if you see him in the rooms later today or you talk to him, tell him I said what up, and I appreciate him too.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Yeah. Good
And
times.
one of the other ones too was Nick Coletti, dude. Like, I knew from the jump when I met him in Nashville, and it's like you said, we only had like very brief conversation in Nashville. It was
Right.
like
Right.
there was so much shit going on. But Nick was kind enough to take me out for a full day. He took me out to the west side of the valley. I forget what that neighborhood was called that we went to, and then he took me all the way out east. We did some houses together, and getting to know him was stellar. And he
Yeah.
was like, you know, I've known Jake for like 20 plus years. You know, he spoke extremely highly of you as well. Um, and I think that sometimes too, we take our other window cleaners for granted. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we don't realize the information that they're sharing with us when we have conversations or when we work with one another.
Right.
So I know that you've been doing it a long time, and I think it's really cool that you share your wisdom and some of your advice with other people, because I know sometimes it's easy to want to just hold your stuff in, and then after, you know, we talked about earlier, having people take advantage of your kindness sometimes.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it can be easy to get burnt out and to want to just quit helping people. Uh, but to see that you're continuously, you know, being open with how things go, I think that that's a great way to live life and to run a business. So kudos to you.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
You got it.
Nick's one of my, one of my best friends. Great guy. Met him through window cleaning. Um, his dad owns a window cleaning company that he's kind of phasing out now. Gotten a lot smaller, but when I was working for him back in the day, he'd have 10 to 15 guys. Nick's dad would.
Yeah.
And so I actually trained Nick back, let's see, probably 2005.
Damn.
So
I don't.
is is when I was training Nick and working for his dad there, and basically Salt Lake. When I started working for his dad, there there was the big three that were in the Salt Lake Valley, and he was considered one of the big three at that time. You know, tons of commercial work, tons of residential work, tons of storefront work, just a lot of work. And like when I first started cleaning windows in 99, 2000, um, there was only 8 companies listed in the yellow pages at that time. 8. That's
Yeah.
it. So in
And
Salt Lake,
for guys like Cody Smith, I don't mean to cut you off, but for some of the younger generation, the Yellow Pages is this big book that used to have advertisements and phone numbers for all the different people. So in case you don't know what the Yellow Pages are, there
I'm
you go.
somebody now.
but yeah,
I'm just fucking with
yeah,
y'all. Sorry, Jake, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, I'm all good. So, but yeah, eight companies were in the Yellow Pages at that time. Now, if you go to the listings, and this is just the listings that they can actually find for the Salt Lake Valley, and I think last time we checked, there was close to 400
Uh,
companies listed in the Salt Lake Valley. So that's insane, going from 8 listed companies to 400 plus
Yeah.
in the same valley in a 25-year period. So it's just crazy how much bigger window cleaning has gotten, and how many more homeowners are having their windows cleaned in comparison to 25 years ago. I mean, 25 years ago, I'd say maybe 1 out of 100 houses was having their windows cleaned. I mean, it
Yeah.
was few and far between. If you had your windows cleaned, you were balling. You know, you made money. That was the situation back then. But now it's more and more where the majority of our customers are middle class people with average sized homes. You know, we're not. It's not just the wealthy that are having their windows cleaned now. So
Yeah. So, and you know, it's funny as you bring that up is, so I talk about my associate, my friend that works with me is Billy Sloan. His dad owned All American Window Cleaning out here in Arizona. He's the guy that we worked for. And back then, I think there was 3 other companies in our listing. That was it. And we really didn't do much residential at all. So I know exactly what you're speaking of. And um back then we did like 95% commercial, and you know, I was getting
right,
paid $7.25 an hour. And it's kind of like what we were talking about in the beginning of this conversation. It's like, I figured, oh, if I could go make $40 an hour, it's almost exactly like what you were talking about. If I can go clean a house and it takes me an hour, I thought I was rich. You know what I mean? Like, oh man,
right.
that's good stuff. But as you continue to grow and figure out, you know, the cost and all of everything else, you do have to continuously raise prices, and you know, you spend more money on insurance now, and then you pay your guys out and this and that, and it's like, oh man, it's just it's it's weird to see how the growth of this industry has become. Um,
Cool.
and you know, a lot of people talk about cost and raising prices and how we need to do this and do that to stay up. But at some point too, I'm going to go back to the coaching thing. It's like, I almost, I don't, I don't need that growth. You know what I mean? Like, I can barely manage what the fuck I'm doing now. And maybe somebody could teach me how to deal with what I'm dealing with now as opposed to growth, and then I'd be all right. Maybe somebody should start teaching that instead of 10xing or whatever.
Yeah, and
That would be good.
it's interesting that you bring that up on that side of things.
I'm
I
fucking
mean,
lost, Jake. I'm 20 years into this and 13 on my own business, but I'm still fucking screwy. Pardon my
yeah.
French.
Well, I mean, a lot of us are. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of us are. Organized chaos is what I call
Yeah.
it. You know, we're somewhat organized. We kind of know what we're doing. We run a business, but we're not businessmen. You know, we're
100.
we're window cleaners first, and the swing of things is now it's um, they're marketing companies first, window cleaners second. So we started in the business when it was, you're a window cleaner first, then you go start a company, then you grow. Now it's gone to where you have zero window cleaning experience,
Yeah.
and you market window cleaning before you even touch a
Before
squeegee.
you have the skills.
Yeah. And so
yeah.
that's kind of where it's gone. And I speak on that all the time, on how starting a business that way um, is not the way to do it. You're not going to go out and do quality work. Yes, you'll get people to sign on and do it, and if your marketing's awesome, you're going to get a lot of first-time customers.
Yeah.
But are you going to get those customers to be customers long-term? And these companies that spend ads, why are they still spending $10,000 a month on advertising when they've
Because
been in
their work
business?
doesn't reflect, and I'm guessing this is where you're going. Their
Yeah.
work doesn't reflect their, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
It's not
they're
as
not
good
getting
as what they're saying.
they're not getting repeat business, or
Yeah.
they wouldn't have to do those ad spends 5 years in. They'd have the repeat customers to where they wouldn't have to do that anymore. But they continue to do that because that's how they keep their flow going, is by ad spend and getting new customers. So yeah, it's strange where the business has gone, and where marketing is where it's at now, where it used to be do a kick-ass job, have word of mouth, and grow a business through word of mouth,
Yeah.
not who can spend the most money to get those customers in front of you. That's the thing that I miss in the window cleaning world, is you just don't have that same way of thinking that we did 20,
Yeah.
25 years ago. It's just not the way it is anymore. Nobody wants to go and work for somebody anymore and learn the trade. They want to jump in and with zero training and just go. And I mean, I can respect it, but I just don't think that that's the way to do it. I think you should learn the window cleaning side along with the marketing side, along with the business side. And I mean, the business side is obviously important. It's just as important as the window cleaning side. If you don't know what you're doing on the business side, and you don't know what you're doing on your taxes and your numbers and stuff like that, it's a slippery slope. I mean, you could be making shit tons of money and not have anything to show for it at the end of the year because you have no idea where your dollars are going.
Oh,
And
I'm guilty.
so,
Guilty.
and I think a lot of us are. A lot of us are in that same boat. So,
well, and I think too, like we talked earlier in the conversation too about braggadocious, and people will put online, I'm making this and that, $1,000 a day and this and that. I think too, the guys who've been around long enough, we can see through the bullshit. You know what I mean?
right.
I think also the guys who have been around long enough don't do that. I've never been the one to boast about money, or it's just not.
Yeah,
I
me
don't
neither,
think it's
because
the
I don't have
way.
any.
Yeah, me either, because I don't have any. It's just not something that is a good look, in my opinion. But if that's what makes people happy, then that's cool. I also think that too, people, I almost wish that clients could kind of see what's going on in pro window cleaning, because maybe they wouldn't hire some of the people that they hire. It would be fucking hilarious. But again, to each their own.
Right.
Um,
Right.
well, one of the things too, like when I was growing my business too, I was a lot younger. And people eat that shit up. And when you're young and decent looking and presentable and dressed nice, people want to help people, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that that's another thing too, that the young cats have going for themselves. Um, just go try hard, try hard, try hard. Do you continue to coach and or teach younger people? I know, we were not clowning on the coaching. But if someone comes to you and asks you, hey, you want to,
Mentorship.
yeah, I was just going to use that term. Do you mentor anybody?
Minotaur.
Um, honestly, people that I've trained over the years, I guess you could call that mentoring. And
Absolutely, you can.
people that have worked for me, or people that I've trained with other companies. I'd say 10 plus people that I have trained, either with my own company or with companies that I've worked for in the past, all have their own companies now. So I mean, I've trained a lot of people that end up being business owners.
Yeah.
Most of them stay solo, and that's what they want to do, and that's great, because I think most of these guys, um, like we've talked about the whole time, they're window cleaners. They're not
Yeah.
businessmen. They don't know the business side. They aren't necessarily the best people at communicating to other people and teaching other people how to do the trade, but they're damn good at cleaning windows.
Yes.
So those kind of guys will usually stay solo their whole careers, and that's awesome. You know, there's tons of money to be made as solo guys. You don't need to have employees to make a really good living in this business. And you know, I've said for a long time, you know, if you keep it small, you keep it all. You know, and you don't have the headaches of having employees. And if you're the one showing up to every single job and your customers know you,
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. That's what customers want. They want the same people showing up every time, and not having those kind of other guys come in and do the work and have a different guy show up every single time. They want the same people at their house, and they want to build a relationship just like we want to build relationships. They want that relationship with the people that service their home. So
No, you're 100 on that. And so you know what, Jake, I'm so glad that you brought this up, because this is something we haven't really talked about on the Goo and Deeds or anything. Those relationships built on as a solo or as a small operation, you know what I mean? Like, that is what people want. And I think for some of the guys who've been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years or longer, that whole COVID experience too really kind of shaped how people wanted to build their business.
right.
You've been around long enough to have gone through it. How did COVID affect you, your business, your growth, and just the growth of the industry as a whole? How do you think it affected it?
Well, the biggest part of COVID, I mean, it made people paranoid to have anyone in their houses. So we were doing a lot of just exterior only on residential, because people were like freaked out. And
Were they freaked out in Utah?
it depends. I mean, we have a demographic here of, you know, probably 70% conservative, 30% liberal.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just depends on um,
The client.
what area you're in. But I
Got it.
mean, Salt Lake City, you know, that's the biggest city in Utah, is very liberal. It's a very liberal city, even though Utah as a whole is very conservative. But Salt Lake City as a city is very liberal. And so, you know, downtown Salt Lake, the avenues, Sugar House, some of the areas that have,
The
you know,
highest income.
yeah, wealthy people, and a lot of them are liberal, very liberal.
Yeah.
And so those people were, you know, deathly afraid of anyone in their house. And then, you know, we have the more conservative side of people, and it's weird because it's like the very liberal people all live in the Salt Lake area. And then like where you went with Nick and worked and, you know, worked in Sandy and Draper area,
Mm-hmm.
those areas, very nice areas too, but vastly more conservative in those areas. So we had people in those areas that could give a shit less
Yeah.
if you came in their house. They didn't care if you wore a mask. And but there were the people that were freaked out and, you know, didn't want anyone. And then they would ask you, you know, like, have you had your COVID vaccine? And, you know, if you said no, they probably wouldn't let you in their house. And I never got
Yeah.
any of the vaccines, and thank God I didn't. But yeah, I was against it the whole time. But I don't want to get too deep into politics here. But
No, I got you.
um,
No, I just like the reason I was asking is because I really feel like that's when I noticed the big boom in our industry, right? So in the beginning, I had just stopped drinking in 2019, right? And
Mhm.
I was trying to reestablish my business, and I was trying to reinvent myself and become the person that I really wanted to be all along, you know what I mean? And I
Right.
thought for sure I was going to lose my ass. And all of a sudden COVID happened and I was like, fuck, I'm going to be broken. This is not really going to work. I'm always going to be a hustler, like you know what I mean? Like a street guy. This isn't going to work. And in actuality, it turned out to be 100% different. Like everybody at home, everybody was looking out their windows and everybody had extra money because they couldn't go on vacation. And you know, all of a sudden your schedule, one person tells another person and it was just like a ripple effect, a wave effect. You know what I mean? Like it just kept going and the work wasn't going to stop. But at the same aspect, then I feel like some of these groups like Pro and Window Cleaning Nation, we all provided all this great information for all these other people to come in and,
Right.
you know, establish themselves as new businesses. But I really think that as long as you maintain the quality of service, you're not going to lose your clients. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
and it also taught me too, like, people wanted to talk. They didn't have anybody to talk to. And if you continuously showed up and if you were supportive of whatever it is that they were going through, your business was going to continue to thrive. So
Exactly.
I
Yep.
thought it was like a complete blessing in disguise because I was terrified. I really thought I was going to lose my ass and have to find a real job, which I don't know if I'm even capable of doing anymore, dude. Like I'm fucking 47 years old. I haven't had a real job in, I don't know, you know, it's probably been 10 years, I guess. And that was like a part-time gig as, you know, like a server and shit. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't think I could work for anybody else. I could work with someone else. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I could
Right.
work for someone else again. It'd be wild.
True. Yeah. It's tough. And yeah, COVID for us, I mean, residential didn't fall off at all. We were just doing less interior and we were getting new customers exterior. But what died for us is we did a lot of restaurant windows, we did a lot of commercial windows,
Yeah, I can
and
see how that would be a shame. Like just a
and
shock.
the restaurants when it first happened, where nobody could go to the restaurants, they
Yeah,
just completely stopped having their windows cleaned for like a year. So didn't have that anymore. And then our commercial buildings, nobody's in the buildings, so they were not having their windows done at all that first year and a half.
yeah,
So for us, we were probably still 15 to 20% down because of our commercial side of the business. So the residential definitely carried us through the the COVID experience. But during that time of COVID, um, instead of having two or three employees, I just had one full time guy at that time
yeah.
for a year and a half, because I didn't need to have other guys on for during that period of time because it was just yeah when you're not doing when 40% of your business is commercial and you're not doing the commercial, it yeah really takes a toll on things. But we made it through and all was good and yeah, happy to still be in business, and I'm glad I didn't put too many people out of business. So,
How many days are you in the field and actually on the glass these days?
usually
I mean,
during
on a typical week, how many days are you out there slinging a mop and squeegee?
at least four, at least 4 days a week. I'm usually I'll take like 2 weekdays off a month to really get things organized on the other side of the business. Make sure all the invoicing is done, make sure all the new customers are uploaded. Um, so, yeah, usually out of the 20 work days in in a month, I'm usually working 17, 18 of those those work days where I'm physically in the field. So, but I enjoy being in the field. I'm a window cleaner,
Yeah.
first and foremost, and I enjoy being in the field. I enjoy working with my guys, and it's something that I've always enjoyed. I don't want. I'm not a get off the truck guy. That's not my mo. I'm going to be out there cleaning windows as long as I can
You just, there you go. Yeah. As long as you can physically do it, right?
yeah, as long as I can physically still do it, I'm going to be out there doing it with my guys, keeping things going.
My guys.
And I love it. I love being in the field like that. And so, and I'm going to talk I'm going to talk about this a little more. I'm going to be on the
Squeegee U.
Squeegee University podcast on Thursday of next week.
Cool.
That's going to be on at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
And we're going to go live in Window Cleaning Nation for that podcast. Nice. And I'll kind of dive in deeper to that side of the business. The guys that don't want to get off the truck, the guys that actually like working in the field. And we'll talk a little more on that podcast about the financial side of things and saving money and retiring a multimillionaire, because
that's something you and I talked about when I was there. And I think that that's a really good note to hit on. And I'm glad that Gabe is going to discuss that with you, because that's not something that I'm even comfortable talking about. You know what I mean? So I'm super glad that that's something that you're going to dive into, and I will tune in because that's something that I need the research on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, like, I asked you about the mentor thing, and to be honest, Jake, that's kind of mentoring others that you don't even know that you're mentoring. You know what I mean? Right. So that's another solid thing that you're doing for our industry. I appreciate that kind of stuff because we all do need to know that.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're making the kind of money that people claim to be making, it shouldn't be that hard to put the money away so you can retire very wealthy,
Yeah.
And not have to worry about things in the future. Because, I mean, when you hit your 50s, when you hit your 60s and you're still out, say you're a solo guy and you're out there going, you don't want to be doing this into your 70s, into your 80s, because you didn't put any money away and you can't live off of just Social Security. So you got to make sure that because nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody's going to put that money away for you. And I just want to help people out to where they can retire and retire well, making as much or more than they're making now when they retire. And guys getting into this business that are in their mid-20s that have 40 years that they can be putting money away and doing things the right way. I mean, you can easily, with not giving up much of your income, retire with 5 million in your retirement accounts if you do things the right way and you're smart with things and you're not going out there and just buying toys and buying boats and whatever the hell.
Buying fucking shoes.
Yeah. Too many shoes, man. Too many shoes.
You and I have a problem, buddy. You and I have a little problem.
I do have an issue with that. I'm getting better. I told my daughter that I'm not buying any more shoes for at least a year. I'm taking a break. I've got a lot of the retros and shit that I love, so I'm good.
Wear them more often.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to rotate over 100 pairs of shoes. It's like, when am I going to wear these? I don't wear them in the field to clean windows.
Yeah, I rock my shit in the field constantly because I think it's like after I've worn them once to an event or to somewhere that I wanted to like showcase them or like wear them out, I'm like, screw it, it's time. And winter time for me is the best time to showcase your shoes at work. And I think I'm about to do the what you rocking again. I started doing that a while back. But I think I'm gonna bring that back. What's on your feet? That'll be fun. Um, we're gonna have to wrap up soon because
Onlyfeet.com.
yeah, gross. Wait,
That's not
what?
gross. A lot
I
of
didn't
weird
hear what
people
you
like that
said.
stuff. Only feet.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if it's gross, but I thought you said something different. My bad.
Oh no, yeah.
We're gonna have to wrap up soon because I got to take the kid to school. But you mentioned something that I wanna hit on too. When we're in these groups, a lot of the focus is getting off the truck, right?
Right.
I think I'm at that, and I think that that's where natural progression tells us that we should be doing, or that's where business tells us what we should
It's
be
what your
doing.
back. No, it's what your back tells you to be doing.
That is what my back has been telling me to be doing for the last 3 years. But it's kind of like what Jake said too. It's like, I feel my best when I am in the field. I feel like I'm
Um,
also giving my business the best foot forward when I'm at least out there saying hi, touching a little glass every now and again. And I don't think there's anything that can duplicate that when you're actually
no,
out in the field. Do you feel
I,
the same
I'm
way?
I'm much happier when I'm physically working. I'm just a happier person. Like when I'm when I'm sitting around during the winter, and I mean, I love my tax office. I love the people that I work with there. Um, I love my clients there, and I love the good conversations that I have with clients through there. But it's not the same as getting out and physically working. It's just a different thing, and I've always been that kind of person where I'm a physical worker. And I think a lot of the people that are coming into the business that want to, be off the truck and all that,
Yeah.
they could give a shit less about window cleaning. They don't care about window cleaning. They
Yeah,
care
they want the
about,
money.
yes,
Numbers.
they're a serial entrepreneur, and they just know there's money in window cleaning, and so they start window cleaning businesses. But they could give a shit about the industry.
Yeah.
It's all about the money for them. And for me, it's always been, and why I've stuck with this and why I've done this is because I enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I'd be in a different industry. You know, I enjoy getting out there and physically doing the work. So
Yeah. Mike Nichols just said your body starts to tell you to get off the truck. You, myself, and Mike were all in the same age demographic. How is your back holding up? Mine is atrocious. I broke my pelvis when I was in my mid 20s, and now my lower back is jacked. But one of the weird thing is like what you're just saying is when I'm working, I don't feel the pain. It's when I
no,
stop. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a one of those you said serial entrepreneur. I'm always in constant motion. You know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah,
probably one of the only times I sit down is first thing in the morning when I'm hanging with deeds and then when I'm in the truck going to jobs. Uh,
right.
After that, the next time I really sit down is typically after I get my kids from school about 3:30. I sit down for about an hour and then I don't stop moving again until it's bedtime. It's one of those things that as a cleaner, it's like I feel like I always have to be somewhere and always have to be doing something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So yeah, my back's doing pretty good. I had a pretty serious fall last year. Most people that know me know about it.
Yeah.
But I had a ladder slip out on me on stamped concrete, and
Oof.
broke a piece of bone off in my ankle, tore all four ligaments in my ankle, and
Ugh.
it was a good 6 month recovery time before I was able to clean windows again. And I'll probably only ever have 75-80% mobility in that ankle. So that gives me a little bit of crap when I'm standing on roofs.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
else, I'm fine, climbing ladders, doing all that. But standing on roofs now, since my ankle doesn't have the same mobility that it used to, um, being on roofs kind of bothers me now. But
Yeah.
other than that, um, I stay pretty fit. I exercise every morning. I sit in my sauna every morning, except for today. Not sitting in the sauna this morning because I'm with you
Well,
guys today.
we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Usually I'm getting in the sauna at about 6:30 in the
Sweat.
morning and staying there
Sweat.
for about half an hour, and then shower, get ready for the day. But yeah, so
Dude, it's unfortunate that we're about to wrap up because I want to ask you something too, but I want you to think about what I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to call you later because I want to hear like how did you mentally like how did you mentally go through that 6 months where you were off your feet? Don't answer it now because I want to have a conversation. Like, what did it do to you mentally? Did it fuck with you? Were you able to um not get depressed? Like there's all sorts of other things that I want to talk about on this one, and maybe we'll talk about it when we have you on again because this was a great conversation, Jake. Like I had a feeling that we were going to have a really good conversation, but the bases that we've covered today are all over the place. And that's kind of
Right.
what we're trying to do with this whole morning show. Get people thinking, but also have some fun and to get people to, know others in the industry. And, somebody used the term, put your best foot forward. Jake, you fucking crushed it today. You put your best foot forward and you let everybody know about different things that you do, not just window cleaning. And I think that
Right.
that's
Right.
really what we're trying to do. Um, I gotta wrap up, but before we wrap up, this is when we usually give our friends some time to give a shout out to whomever it is that they want to give a shout out to. You can shout yourself out and say, "Hey, yo, I kick ass." I don't give a fuck who you give it to, but let those know who you want to give thanks to.
Um, First and foremost, yeah, I want to thank my two full-time guys that crush it for me all the time. Amazing guys, and that's Jason Heckenleibel and Mark Hammond. They're awesome guys that I've known for 20 plus years each, and we used to all
That's
work
why you're a
together.
winner.
Yeah, that we all used to work together at another company, and so I know these guys, inside and out, and great guys you can trust, and you know, between the three of us, we have 86 years of experience.
I gotta love
So,
that.
so it's crazy, when you come to that with just three guys with 86 years of experience there. So we know what we're doing, and but yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to Nick Coletti, always
Yes.
always my
Thank
guy
you.
when it comes to um, doing big commercial projects, and him coming on and always positive and crushing things with me. And I mean, that's when Nick and I have our best conversations is, especially Wendover, 2 weeks in a lift together,
Yeah,
day in, day
dude,
out,
I gotta
you
get
know,
the, I gotta get us three to have a conversation because I've had great conversations with you, great conversations with him, and
right.
when there's a mutual respect and admiration between two parties, it's really cool. And
It
all he
is.
did
It's
was speak
awesome.
highly of you, and you know that term mentor was used
Minotaurs.
minotaur in a good way too. You know what I mean? It's like when there's mutual respect, it always makes things better.
Right. For sure.
Anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my kid, my daughter that, makes it so I'm always pushing and grinding and making it so she has a better life than I did. Always. I think having kids pushes you to that next level, and makes you want to succeed more. And so
Agreed.
always shout out to my daughter Adeline that has been um, my driving force. So.
Way to go, Jake. That was absolutely stellar. Deeds, you're up, pal.
Oh God, I'm going on a 1,500-mile odyssey up to Buffalo today. So I'm going to need all the prayers and calming thoughts you guys have. I'm going to be driving today up to Arkansas, then tomorrow Arkansas to Cleveland, and then Cleveland to Buffalo. And that, we don't know how far we're getting. Anyway, 3 days in the car, God help me. So I want to thank my wife for putting up with my shit beforehand. We're gonna try to make a good trip. Try not to get a divorce by the time we get to New York. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Very fun. Can't wait.
Hey, I
I'll
don't
be
know
up in New York. Could be up in the
what part
50s
of
this week.
Arkansas you stopping in.
Fort, no, Hope, Arkansas, north to the right of shit. I don't even know. Through Little Rock, I think.
Well, if you should reach out to Mike.
Well, he's to the left a little bit. We're
I don't know
But yeah,
geography. I just know he's right on that Oklahoma-Arkansas border. I was like, look,
yeah,
if
I'm
you
going
got
like
time,
straight like a missile,
got it.
right through it. But yeah, I'm
Got
gonna
it.
have a good weekend. I'm gonna have a good next week. We're gonna have a lot of really cool episodes. So thank you, Jake, for coming on this morning. It's
No,
awesome to
I
hear your
appreciate you
story
guys.
and
That's
your success.
I love that you guys invited me to be on. That's really cool. So, and I appreciate what you guys are doing, and the time that you guys take, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to do this is awesome. You guys are studs for making
Well,
this
thank you.
happen. So,
I appreciate you saying that, Jake. We do our best to try to get really solid men and women on the show. You know what I mean? We try to do our research and find out who would be a best fit to um, let their story be told, to give information to our friends, our listeners, our followers, and you're definitely at the top of that list.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
absolutely, dude. And also, too, like I want other people to get to know people instead of just judging them by their fucking Facebook,
Yeah.
whatever, or
Right.
by their comments. So I felt that I wanted to make sure that you got yourself out there in the best light possible because I think you're a stellar cat, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you definitely have some knowledge that needed to be shared. I want to give a shout out to Deed's wife for helping us with all the stuff that we're trying to do and getting things moving forward. I want to personally thank Mark because he is the driving force behind this show. He comes up with all sorts of fun ideas, and we're going to put some of those fun ideas to use next week. I highly recommend that anyone that's
Dubois.
ever Dubois that anyone that's ever tuned into the show tune in next week. Uh, I'd like to, Deeds. You and I didn't talk about this yet, but Friday's Halloween. I'd love to be able to get some of our friends on the show at some point.
Heck yeah.
Friday, dress up in costume. If you want to dress up in costume, let Mark or I know, and we'll see about getting you in on a Friday. We're
Yeah, we're
definitely,
gonna do like a costume
yeah.
party action.
I would love to do that costume party action. Deeds and I are going to do some fun stuff. There's going to be multiple guests throughout the week, but it would mean a lot to us to have all of you guys show up, especially on Friday. Show up, show out, put on your best outfit, get dressed, have some fun, get all fucking jacked on candy before you go out on a Friday and have a
Yeah,
great
Tootsie
Halloween.
Rolls.
Tootsie
Yeah.
Rolls.
Yes.
Well, that's
They're
pretty
gross, by
much
the way.
it for this week, dude. I want to thank Zane for popping in. I want to thank Jake for stopping by. I want to thank WCR for supporting us. Um, I want to thank Zero for supporting us. I'm excited as all get out because I've got some new toys coming today. A couple white Sorbo handles on the way,
Oh,
baby.
it's like
Ooh! I have a couple
pretty
to
It's
give
cool.
actually
away as
sexy.
well.
The
And
White Ranger Power Ranger action, like the flute.
I can't
But
wait,
he had
dude.
the
I also got
saber
that
sword.
new Speed Clean Unger thing that I'm gonna open up, unbox, and then show how it works next week. So I'm about
Cool.
15 minutes behind schedule. I gotta run. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out. Jake, you kick ass. Deeds, I
Yep.
love you, buddy. I hope everybody has a stellar weekend. Thanks for
Change your
popping
You
rubbers,
in,
too.
guys.
everybody.
Change those
Make
rubbers
sure.
and make sure your pucks and buckets full.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Spay and neuter
weekend,
your
boys.
minotaurs. Yeah. Thank you.